Who is this coming from the wilderness, leaning on her beloved? I said this the first time she came home to me. Her skin ruddy, her streaks in her hair giving way to inches of darkness at the roots. I haven't been warm in 6 months, she said. She leaned on me, her beloved, when she came up from the wilderness. Song of Solomon. I'm not a religious person, but that line always stuck. Down from the wilderness, she corrected. Technically, I was way, way up there. The Northwest Passage was once a thing of legend, a treacherous myth. A narrow passage of water that could connect the European traders to Asia, a sharp chute that meant skipping the roundabout of South America's Cape Horn. The Who's Who Boys Club of the Arctic. Explorers all tried to find it. Francis Drake, James Cook, John Cabot, those boys, you know. When my love set sail for the Northwest Passage, it was still something of a boys' club, except she wasn't so much an explorer as a PhD candidate in marine biology, and she wasn't so much on a mission from the Queen as she was writing a dissertation sponsored by various funding bodies and a hefty bank loan. Set sail, I say. I should say she took a plane first. Then a helicopter, maybe. The details are the chemo brain, you know. The ice is thinning. The thing that made the Northwest Passage so hard to discover, so seemingly impassable, is disappearing. That's what my beloved has told me. This is my layman's understanding, okay? When I met my wife, I had no more concept of what a marine biologist actually does than when I was in 3rd grade. And everyone decided we wanted to be a marine biologist because we generally had a good time at the community pool, and Free Willy had just come out on VHS. And it seemed like a good combination of the two interests. Anyway, the ice of the Northwest Passage is melting. The result, my beloved explains, is the migration of marine life. In the summer of 2010, a bowhead whale from West Greenland and a bowhead whale from Alaska entered the passage from opposite ends and spent a whirlwind 10 days in the same area near the Viscount Melville Sound. They crossed paths in the Canadian Arctic archipelago in Parry Channel before returning to their respective homes. In the spring of that same year, a gray whale, which had been hunted to extinction in the Atlantic waters in the 18th century, turned up in the Mediterranean. The underwater world is getting a little more global, says my beloved, and not in a good way. She left her cell phone home. She took out the SIM card and put it in a drawer. There's no cell service in the wilderness. It's hard to have a hard conversation. It's hard to have a hard conversation over the phone. It's hard to have a hard conversation on a satellite phone, knowing that your words have been ricocheted through I don't know, space, and then sent back down to Earth, or rather to sea, to a ship on the Arctic waters, before hitting the ears of my beloved. She was supposed to come home in a month. Not such a long time, I said. What we both did not say was, a month is not such a long time. And that's the problem. How many months? How many months? She wanted to come home. I said, no, it would be too complicated. And besides, it's too early. I can't leave you alone in the wilderness, she said. I told her, it's okay. You know what? The only consolation is that my wilderness isn't a boys' club. I didn't wait for my hair to go. I dreaded the patchiness of it. The idea of something being taken from me. The night I hung up the phone, I shaved my head with a Bic razor. The day my beloved came home from the wilderness, she wore a wool hat. I didn't think anything of that. It's cold up there. Up there. I met her at the airport. She dropped her bags, reached for her hat, ripped it off, and revealed the shiniest, baldest head I had ever seen glaring in the fluorescent lights. We matched. And I leaned on my beloved. Thank you for the opportunity to audition. I look forward to hearing from you.